Hello and welcome to part 2 of building a model-driven app. In this lesson, we are going to be introducing the tables that we've been working on recently into the school maintenance app. We're then going to publish the app and then we're going to use the app. This video will show you how straightforward it is to put together the model-driven app now that we've done all the hard work on the tables in our data model. Let's move over to the exercise. I'm in my developer environment. I can expand the burger and then go on to my solutions and then select on the school maintenance solution. I can select on apps to filter my solution objects down and then select on the maintenance model driven app. If I hit the three dots and then select on edit, I can see that I have an app with just one table. We can change that. If I select on new, add Dataverse table, I can search for the tables that I require. I'm going to look for maintenance logs. I'm also going to look for service areas. Select on service area and then select add. If I'd like the maintenance logs table to appear at the top, I can select the three dots next to maintenance logs and then select move up. I can also select the maintenance table on screen, and this shows how it would present in a responsive fashion. I can change this to make it the desktop. This shows how it would appear on a desktop. At this point, the locations view has a specific icon associated with it, but the maintenance logs doesn't. We can change that. I'm going to move to settings, and then under default icon for the icons, I'm going to select use web resource. I'm going to add a web resource from our resources. Select choose a file. Select the spanner SVG and then select open. I've added a description and I'm going to select save and publish. Now that the web resource exists, we can search for it. Go to the search bar and type in spanner. Select on spanner and then apply. I'm going to revert back to the responsive view. And if we were working with an app with more tables, we might want to arrange the tables in a more structured fashion. I'll show you how to do that. I'm going to select on the new group, select the three dots, and then select new group. I'm going to call the group dimensions. I'm going to move the service areas down into it. Move down. And also the locations. Move down. I'm going to select on the first new group. I'm going to call this one logs. I'm now going to select save and then publish. I could play the app using the icon on the right hand side, or I can select back, select the three dots next to the maintenance model driven app and then select play. At this point we have an app with no active maintenance logs. If I select on locations, we have 4 valid locations and we also have 4 valid service areas. Let's move back onto maintenance logs. I'm now going to create a number of maintenance logs records. Select new. We'll give it a description of roof leaking. We'll select the location, which is going to be B03, and the service area. We can do a search for that. If we just select enter, we can select the building, and we can update the date observed in the header by selecting the drop down, select date observed, and we can give it a date of Monday the 13th. and I can select Save. Notice that the dates are shown in a United States format, but that can be changed. I can move to the settings, select the personalization settings, select formats. The current format is English United States. I can select the drop down next to that. I'm going to select English United Kingdom. I can see the format of the date and the currency, and I can select OK. Notice that the date formats have now been altered. And you can revert back to the United States format by doing the same thing in reverse. Select Settings, Personalization Settings, Formats, and this time we'll do English United States. Select OK, and the data is in a United States format. Select back, and the record appears within our view. I'm going to add another record. Select New, update the description, select the location, this will be B01, select the service area, and this will be electrical. Select the drop down for date observed, and then select a date observed. This time going for Wednesday the 15th of January. I performed updates to all of the required fields, and then select Save. Notice that the maintenance log name has been completed for us because it's an auto number field. Select Save and Close. And now I'm going to select the Outstanding Items view. We still see both our records there, but what if it's been fixed? Let's select Issue 1001, Lights are Flickering. Select the item, select Date Completion, give it a date completed, and we'll say it was completed on the 19th of January, and then select Save and Close. And it's no longer in the view. Why has this happened? Well, it's because it's no longer an outstanding item. Let's look at the filters for this view. Is complete equals no. I'm going to cancel that. I'm now going to look at the active maintenance logs. I can see the date completed has been completed, and it's saying is complete is yes. And this means that our PowerFX formula field has calculated in the correct way. If we scroll across to the right hand side, we can see that these records relate to building and electrical. Let's go to the service areas. I'm going to select on building. If I select on related, I can then select the maintenance logs, and that will show us those maintenance log records that have a lookup to the building record in the service areas table. Select maintenance logs, and we can see we have just one item. And because it's using the maintenance log associated view, we can't see very many details. If I select the drop down and select the active maintenance logs, we'll have the fields we put into that view. And if I select on issue 1000, I'll be able to interact with the maintenance log form. This brings us to the end of this lesson. We added new tables to our model-driven app and added an icon for the maintenance log table. We changed the structure of how we presented the three tables in our model-driven app, and then we added records to our maintenance log table. And we saw how we could update the personalization settings so the date would appear in a different fashion. We then saw how the records in the outstanding maintenance logs view changed when we added a completion date to one of our records. And finally, we navigated from the building service area through to the outstanding items for building. I'll see you in the next lesson.